It's the old Doctor Who show, episode number 142, Mission to the Unknown. Let's get going, Peter. It's Dad's weekend.
Go forward in all your beliefs and prove to me that I am not mistaken in mine. You couldn't control my mind before, and you certainly can't control it now.
Would you like a jelly, baby?
The TARDIS, when working properly, is capable of many amazing things.
Reverse the polarity of the neutron flows, and the TARDIS will be free of the force field now.
Well, the TARDIS is more than a machine, Stephen. It's like a person, you see.
The resulting reaction is Spidey. Are you ready?
Welcome back to the old
to the
Doctor
old
Who
Doctor
show,
Who
your
your
tri-weekly
classic
Doctor
Who review.
I'm trying to get every piece of word and just really juice it, because there's only this. There's only me
juice.
and you and the sound of my dogs. It's over, Dan.
No,
This is
What?
it. Well, this is really it. We still have the last
What are you-
episode, and I understand
what
the
are you
last
talking
two
about?
episodes we've said this is it.
God.
One of our listeners,
this is it.
Misfit Scully, was kind enough to recommend that we do Mission to the Unknown. We've heard. There they go. They love when
They are.
love when I talk. We've had other listeners. They've recommended that we do 10th Planet and Dream a Little Dream 2, and I can't think of any of the other names. The
License to
Equestrians.
Drive.
Is that one? The
Right.
Equestrians?
The
Like a
Equestrians,
delightful
yes.
horse people. No, none of those shows are available. I've gone on Twitter and I've said, how do we watch these? Crickets. So I don't know how to watch the 10th Planet. It's not... You can't buy it digitally. You can't stream it on BritBox. You can buy a DVD of it probably for like $500. But short
So
of
we're
stealing
asking for a
it, which we're not
GoFundMe.
going to do, go to the dark
Are we
web.
Are we not?
Where free speech reigns supreme. No, we're not going to the dark web. So I guess this is it, Dan. This is it. Until next
Maybe.
weekend or week, or 3 weeks
That-
from now,
the
we
next
do our
time, yeah.
live extravaganza. We'll talk about at the end of the show.
So here's
This
what's
is-
happening,
it's over.
folks.
It's over.
Here's what's happening.
Okay,
If between now and let's say a week from when you're listening to this,
sure.
you can find ways to let us know how to watch the 10th Planet, we'll watch the 10th
Yeah,
Planet.
I-
and we'll do another episode.
There were like other ones too, right? Let me try to find my tweet. That's the good thing about abandoning Twitter is I don't have that many tweets, so I can literally just see, oh, what did I tweet? And then I'll find the freaking tweet
Right.
that listed them all out. Here we are, people. Who's ready? Who's ready
I am.
for love? No. So people had recommended 10th Planet,
Uh-huh.
Moonbase, Faceless Ones, which also sounds
Ooh, I
like a
want that.
Monster Magnet song.
That sounds
Ice
great.
Warriors, Fury from the Deep,
Iconic.
the Mascara, or the Macroterra, Underwater Menace, and what we're doing now, the Mission to the Unknown. The only one we were able to watch is Mission to the Unknown because apparently it was a student production. Aside
I
from
want us
that,
to do-
I can't find these other ones.
I want us to figure out a way to do Underwater Menace. Is that what it's called?
Something
Because
yeah, Underwater
it
Menace.
gets Eric to say "wooder" with a South Jersey accent,
Water.
which I really enjoy. So that'd be great. If for no other reason we could just
for that.
have him
But
say
hey,
"wooder."
we don't know how to watch these.
No,
I made every intention. Made every intention. I
Every
made
single one of
every effort
Yes.
to find these. They don't
Attention.
exist. I don't know why they're not in BritBox. I don't know why 10th Planet is not on
not even some
BritBox.
recreations. Nothing.
Most of it exists except for one episode, to my knowledge. So why isn't that on there? We don't know.
mean,
Licensing
what if
problems.
we review all of them except for the missing like if there's one?
It's
that's
like the De La
it's a
Soul
four-parter,
albums.
but once-
Well, eventually they'll figure it out and put them out.
I have no idea
Dan.
what the De La Soul reference was. I know who they are, but I don't. I mean, let's talk about
Let's talk
De La
about
Soul's
3 Feet High and
discography.
Rising. Let's talk
Okay.
about De La Soul is Dead. right?
Ooh.
Great record.
Yeah.
Okay, no. We are done. So next time we will do
Unless-
our final show. And what happens
Unless-
after the final show? One night
We
I
explode.
ingested some chemicals and natural chemicals.
All natural chemicals.
And I didn't realize how late it was, but somehow I decided that I was putting on Land of the Lost for my family
They must have
and
loved
really
that.
enjoying it. And as I was watching Land of the Lost, I was like, I have to watch Sid and Marty Krofft shows with Dan, and that's our new thing. And it was like the greatest idea that I had. I was like, this is awesome. Because, sure, we all know the Lidsvilles. We all know the H.R. Puffin stuffs. But I was
Your
looking around at...
Sigmund's Sea Monsters.
They have shows that... I found one with Ruth Buzzy and Jim Neighbors, and they're in a
Yeah.
spaceship.
Yes.
So I was like, we'll just pick random episodes, almost like if we could have like a big wheel or something. And we have to do at least one show. I don't know how we're
Each of
going to do
theirs.
it,
But
right?
here's the thing, folks.
But we
What we're
should just
trying to
do
is
them.
We started this podcast.
So I texted
out
Dan.
of our-
What I was going to say is I texted Dan and then realized it was like 12:30 at night or something. It was like well past like when you're supposed to be texting.
No, it's totally fine.
it's
He,
fine.
he started, but it was weirder. He started the text with "you up," which really that was confusing.
I just sent you a picture of a sleeve
Sent me
stack.
completely in a different direction. So we started this podcast out of a deep friendship and a love for Doctor Who, and we wanted to
Yeah.
share that with the world. What we thought we'd do is instead of going broader and more with a bigger appeal for a wider audience, we go
Smaller
even
audience.
narrower.
Yeah.
Something no
Let's
one
just get a
remembers.
small. Listen, the
It
Lost
made me-
Saucer is bonkers. That's what it's called. That's the
No
Jim
one
Neighbors
knows
and Ruth Buzzy.
any of these
I've
things.
never seen an episode, but I sent Dan the.
I remember it.
I don't remember it at all.
Jim Neighbors and Ruth Buzzy, absolutely.
Now-
what was the one with Phyllis Diller?
More-
Was
Yes.
she a bird woman or something?
Wait, Phyllis Diller's also in that?
Not in that one. In another.
Okay.
Sid and Marty
Yeah. See,
Krofft.
I think it's a gold mine of like insanity.
Nuts.
But
Yes.
is it an American phenomenon or?
I think it is a phenomenon stretching it.
Okay. Yeah.
don't know
So
if
I
it's
mean,
ever
most of our
phenomenon.
audience is not American. So we're cutting that cake up. If there is
Oh my goodness. This is
listeners,
ridiculous.
if there's English versions of HR Puffin stuff that looks like it's some kind of drug-addled children's. I'm looking for drug-infused children's programming from the 60s and 70s. That'll be the show. Is that what it's called? Drug-addled. No, we can't call it drug. Anyway, that are some of the thoughts. Let us know what you think if
my
you want us
God.
talking about Chaka.
I'm looking. So
And,
it's-
sleeve
Eric was saying
stacks.
he did his research, and a lot of these are available on
YouTube,
YouTube. I
yes.
just searched for Croft Super Show because that was another one of his Super Show, and one of the thumbnails is a manic looking Billy Barty. So and the title of the episode is Dr. Shrinker.
Now,
so
is there,
I'm
we
kind
gotta
of on board.
Right, we got to figure out some of the
The Bay City Rollers.
yeah, the
What is
what's
happening?
is it possible to do like a Mystery Science Theater
Electro
3000 where we
Girl.
watch them while we talk? Is that but I guess we can't really release it that way. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Because I don't want to do even a tradition like a regular review. I don't want to sit here and go and then the Slee Stacks whenever. Like if we could almost just watch it and then
Right.
talk about it and then
Right.
somehow release that.
That might be. It's
Like a reaction video.
Stealing a page from Riff Tracks.
Yes.
Where they don't actually stream it. They just provide commentary that you sync up with.
This is
it.
what I'm thinking.
Maybe
we watch
maybe.
it,
Yeah.
we film ourselves watching it, like
Oh,
a
boy.
reaction video,
Uh-oh.
and then we
YouTube
take the
loves those.
highlights of it and we release that. Is that doable? I don't know. We gotta.
That sounds
this
like a
is stuff
lot of editing.
It sounds like a lot of work. I was trying to give myself less work.
Nope.
And
So
I'm giving myself more
smaller
work.
audience and more work is what we're going for. Got it. Cool. Anyway, folks.
Anyway.
In the meantime, like I said, if you can find a way for us to watch some of the remaining episodes,
Right.
of
Oh yes,
stories that
Doctor
Eric
Who.
mentioned,
Yes, Doctor Who.
just we'll do that. We're here for you. if there are, I mean, Eric, maybe there's a case where one of those delightful stories is only missing one episode. And we'll just watch all of it except that episode, and we'll just guess what happens in between. That's a possibility. If it's missing 3 episodes out of 6, probably not.
I don't want to watch.
Not
Yeah, but
worthwhile.
I don't.
No.
Again, like I don't think it's even possible that we can watch any of them unless like a listener sends us like a digital file,
Listener.
which I don't
Even
know.
that's not okay.
I don't know if
not
that's
right.
okay. I was hoping I would even say, oh, I would just buy it, but you can't buy it. You can only buy like the DVDs. It's fine.
Nope. Okay. Well, there's that business.
Yeah, Sid and
this,
Marty Krofft.
This is fun.
Think about it.
Think about it,
Right?
folks.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
Let's talk about. Unless you have something else. Do you have anything else, Dan?
No, let's get into
Last of Us.
this
I didn't watch
mission.
the finale. You watched the finale.
Oh my God,
Without
it's so good.
spoiling it. We didn't even talk about it at all, right?
No, we really didn't.
Because I played all of the game. Did we talk about the game?
Not really. I don't think so.
Yeah, because I literally, as soon as I watched the show, I played the game to get ahead of the show.
Did you finish the game?
I finished the game. I'm almost
right.
finished with the second game. So I went.
There you go.
I played all of the first one, and I played the DLC, and I'm almost done with the second one. And my daughter's as obsessed with it as I am, and she's playing it, and she's almost caught up to me in the second one. So it's a fun time. It's a lot of
That's great.
a lot of stealth kills going on in this house. On
And
that
the
note,
game. Let's just jump into
let's
this mission.
jump in.
to
It's
the
a
unknown.
short episode. We're going to be done soon. Let's get it over with.
Hit that button.
This is Marco, Special Security Service reporting from the planet Kemble. The Daleks are planning the complete destruction of our galaxy. Together with the forces of the outer galaxies, a war force is being assembled. Whoever receives this message must relay the information to Earth immediately. It is vital.
I remember now. Must kill.
Dan, this is Mission
Eric.
to the Unknown. What doctor's in this? I don't know, because it
No
doesn't seem like there is a
doctor.
doctor in this. This is the second serial of the third season of Doctor Who. It's written by Terry Nation, so you know it's got to have Daleks. And it was directed by Derek Martinez, the original. Now, we didn't watch the original, and I guess we'll have to talk about that after the fact. Because it was one of those things that was missing or erased and it was recreated, and we got to watch the recreation. But it involves the uncovering of a secret Dalek master plan by a young James Bond-esque super spy who has a license to tickle. I'm not sure if that's true. Every time I think about that, I think of my uncle and that Hunt the Wampus game, and he always smelled of Budweiser. It's a fun family story we like to talk about. Was it okay behavior? We're not sure. But so he's able to meet a council of evil space aliens that are all working together in cahoots to destroy the Earth. And he gets murdered. It's the Rogue One of Doctor Who stories. And we got to watch it, Dan. What did you think of Mission to the Unknown? Mission to the Unknown sounds like a hardcore band. Almost. Dan, what do you have? What do you have for me?
What do I got for this, Eric? Let's see. There's 2 ways to think about this. What did I think of this as a story, and what did I think of the production of this?
Oh, okay. I see where you're
In
going.
both cases, I liked it.
Okay.
But I very much appreciated the production of this. So as everyone, who's listening to
let's
this
explain
knows,
the
knows
production
this.
of it, because I sort of
Everyone
fumbled
knows
over
what's
that.
happening.
Yeah.
No, it's cool.
Because I think this is a hidden gem. While it seems like people on Twitter were like, "Oh, just go into the official BBC YouTube." I've never actually heard anyone mention this thing before in the 18 years that we've been doing the show. This episode, the fact that there's even a single like a one-shot classic Doctor Who that even existed, let alone was redone. So tell the people what it's about, because people I think may not know, Dan.
Well, as everyone is aware, so many lost tapes. The tape got overwritten. Whatever, it got lost somehow. There was, and in these cases, a lot of times they're found from different studios where they were broadcast
They had different
from,
mothers.
but they just haven't found this one. So over the course of time, it was just lost. No one could ever see it. Like they had some artifacts from it. They had some stills. They had a shooting script, etc. And they still had some people alive from the original production of it. But there was just no existing tape that we could then broadcast again. So in more recently, what the BBC has been doing is having these animations created to fill in the gaps of some of these, or for entire stories that don't have. And we've reviewed a couple of those, Eric, if you remember that.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
as part of this, let's see. Andrew Ireland, I believe, is the person who originally wrote a proposal to do a live reproduction, recreation of this story. Kind of shelved it in 2012, but then as he was on the staff of the University of Central Lancashire, he found the opportunity with these visual arts students, media arts students, to, hey, let's actually mount this production. So they got in touch with the BBC. The BBC was like, yeah, let's do this. So they
did it in
actually put
5
together.
days too. Was it
5 days.
5 days?
So that's part of the on the BBC's YouTube channel. They have both the entire episode with a lovely introduction by the original actor who played the lead, McCoy. McCoy, is that right? Mark Corey. Sorry.
Sure.
Doing that. That was a lovely little introduction. And then it goes right into the Doctor Who story. They also have the making of available. It's a little 9-minute short.
I did not see that, but you did.
I will tell you all about that. But no, it was great. So they did it in 5 days because they wanted to do it as much as possible like the original productions were. So they wrote out all of their own version of the shooting script. They rehearsed it with the actors for the first 2 days. They did full tech and dress rehearsals through, and then filmed it on the 5th day, which was just incredible. So they kind of put that all together in a very similar way to the way the BBC would have done it. They recreated everything as much as possible, filmed it in color, but then in post translated it to black and white in a way that really... So, like, Eric, let's talk about this.
Okay.
What do you think about the recreation itself? Like the stylistic choices?
If I didn't see the intro and you just showed it to me, I think at first glance I would think that it was from the era. I thought they did a good job of recreating the visual look of something that looked like it was made for a little less than maybe it should have been. Some of them make, like the Council of Evil.
Oh my goodness.
Was the dumbest, best thing that maybe I've ever seen in Doctor Who.
For
With
sure.
the one alien that was like wearing David Byrne's outfit, where his suit was entirely too big for his head.
Yep.
That was very funny. But no, if I didn't know that, they start in color and then it zips to black and white, and you clearly, they're explaining what it is. I thought they did a good job. All the materials looked to be from the era. I didn't, nothing jumped out as feeling like out of place,
Absolutely.
They did a very
I felt
good
the same
job.
way. Like, it wasn't even just that it was color converted to black and white, but it felt like the similar black and white where, like, some of the black levels are really crushed.
Yeah,
and
and
you can't
the
really make out the detail.
blocking, like the way they blocked
blocking
the
was
stuff, like everything
perfect.
felt very,
Perfect.
very of the era.
All those moments where you'll have something happening in the background and a character walks up downstage towards the camera and kind of looks off into the distance and kind of talks to no one. Totally recreated that in these. Like, it absolutely felt like it was of the era.
Here's something. I'm
incredible
gonna
concept.
throw a little monkey wrench
Do it.
into our thing and derail the entire show.
Here it goes.
There's a lot of these stories that have been taped over with episodes of Simon and Simon or whatever
Yep.
they've Jake and the Fat Man, season 3, very good season. That's the one with the
Best season,
that's the one with the
really.
murder. No, the what would you think if, like, they're constantly rebooting everything? Just take these scripts and just reshoot them as, like, Doctor Who specials. Like, why don't they just
God, it'd be
do that? I
incredible.
honestly would
mean,
like to see it not necessarily trying to make it look like it was filmed then, I mean, I guess
Right.
there is some charm
That
to
was
that.
an incredible feat. I think that they had.
But
a
they
goal in
could
mind.
do that. I mean, maybe if that keeps the budget. But like, I would be interested in seeing like some of these scripts shot
a modern
with
take on it.
a modern take on it. Like they have these stories that are just sitting around that we can't even watch. With doctors that are not around anymore. I don't
like
know.
the
Maybe that's
idea of the-
blasphemy. People may be like, no, leave well enough alone, and I respect that too. But watching this, I was wondering, like, you know, you could just do that.
Absolutely. Well,
Right?
I like this.
Not
idea of
animated
turning
either.
this
I'm not
as-
talking about animating, and I'm talking about
No.
literally
but
actors.
Doing a
and-
faithful recreation of it, I think, works so well. I just think it makes everything work in the places where you wouldn't. If it was a modern take on it, you might be more critical.
Yeah, and I guess
in this
it
case
does
Where, like
too-
some of the story was like a little silly with like the council at the end, and some of the acting was, I think, intended to be as much as possible like the acting of the period, so that like that council, especially with everyone having a single line that was just so silly, it still worked out beautifully. Where if you tried to do like a modern update of it, it just might not feel as good. Like they do with the animations, trying to make it look as much as possible like it was the original, but in an animated style. I'd love to see them try to recreate.
Yeah,
these.
I would be. I would be interested in.
I don't
seeing
know what
that.
you would do with the doctors. I mean, this one lends itself obviously perfectly to it because it was a standalone.
Yeah, there's
bottle
no doctor.
episode
You would have to like
with no
recast
doctor.
the second Doctor because most of Patrick Troughton's episodes are missing.
Yeah,
And then maybe that would be a problem. Like you can't, you know.
I think
But
that'd be
honestly,
amazing if they could
I
find
think
an
you can.
actor.
It's
They
like
did
putting
with-
on
for
another
Hartnell,
Shakespeare
so.
play. You need to have you do it as many times as you want, right? Do it with puppets. Do the whole thing with puppets.
That's what it is.
You have a Troughton puppet. Just spitballing ideas here. What's up with the monkeys? Did you notice? Did you watch this with headphones on? A lot of monkey
No, I
sounds
know
on
it's
the
something
planet.
British.
Like
no, I didn't notice that.
never-ending monkey sounds. Like if you just listen,
Well,
listen
so
to
I-
this when they're on the planet. Like you just hear in the background, like you know, some loop of jungle sounds that they put in the editing room. But it's
which
like,
I think
it's
is
a
like
lot of monkeys.
pretty standard for that era. So I was gonna say, not only they had the shooting script, they had photographic stills from the shoot. They also had a fan audio recording from the broadcast, so they could actually listen back to it. I was going to say one of the things that struck out to me because I watched the making of after I watched the episode itself. I was wondering about some of the music cues that they had, like when the initial titles. When it comes to Terry Nation's name, there was a really big like music sting in the audio. And I was like, that's a funny thing that they did, but maybe it was actually there from the original recording of the audio when they brought that up.
Possibly.
But there was. So I wonder how much they didn't get into this, but how much they really let that audio recording guide the performances. Were they trying to get as like pitch perfect, or were they using that as a guide and letting the actors can do their own thing and within the limits there kind of make it their own? So that I don't know. Maybe there were a ton of monkeys in the original episode as well.
Yeah, who knows? I took that as just literally looking up jungle loops sounds to give it the atmosphere. Speaking of
Maybe it's
atmosphere,
what the BBC did.
The atmosphere is very dark. Like, and I guess this originally, but like everybody dies, including the hero. That's why I
Daleks
mentioned
win.
the Rogue One thing. It's like literally everybody dies.
Yeah, the Daleks win in this one, which is great.
And
It's
this
just so
rolled
unusual.
into the Dalek Master Plan, or this was a prequel for that somehow.
Right. It does go on.
Although the next
so
episode
this-
is actually the Mythmakers and not the Dalek Master Plan.
They reused in the original production of this. They reused the set that's the interior of for the Dalek Master Plan.
That seems like an odd choice, though, right? So you have this episode, which sets up, he's dead, and he's got his little tape recorder, which is ridiculous. That little tape recorder with the reel-to-reels on it. That's like, whoever gets this, stop the plan, whatever, the Council of Evil. But then the next episode is the Mythmakers, which we didn't do, but it looks like it's about the Trojan War or something.
Oh, let's please not do that one.
And then the next one is the Daleks Master Plan. Like, did they get the order wrong? Like,
maybe it was a shooting order was different.
I don't know. We don't know.
That happens.
I didn't.
Sometimes.
We did the Dalek Master Plan, right? The Daleks Master
yes.
Plan.
The Dalek Master.
I don't remember a thing about it.
Well, that's because these things just completely fly out of our brains, so we can make room for the next one.
My dog
But
is
tell me what you
growling.
thought about the overall story of this one. We really didn't.
No,
talk
we
about
didn't.
the production and not the story.
Right. So it's very short. It's only one episode. So you start out and you're on a strange planet, big surprise, jungle setting. There's two guys, or no, I guess it starts out with a guy
One guy.
he's under the possession of the
kill.
of the whatchamacallit, the fungal. He's got the fungus going through him.
Fungus
He's
Among Us is the
completely
Varga
controlled.
plant.
Yeah, he's saying like kill, right, or something along
Faster
those lines.
Pussycat,
Then
kill,
you
kill,
get two
yeah.
average Joes, lunch pail types, cranking away trying to fix the rocket engine, and they are very annoying to work with. I would think both of them. I found them both to be a
You
little.
didn't enjoy them?
Didn't really enjoy their company.
I see.
But then you find out the reason why this guy's undercover and he knows, and so the guy that's controlled by the Daleks, he tries to kill the other guy. The guy saves his life. He's not appreciative at all. And then he kind of is like, "You're a jerk," and then the credits came up. That was basically it. Did anything else happen?
No, that was it.
That was pretty much it.
That's
No,
it.
and so then you find out this guy is a what's the name of his outfit? It's like the
He
space
was the
CIA.
security force. Yeah.
Yeah,
Space CIA.
He's got a license to kill, so there's this whole like James Bond angle to it, and he's here to suss out the Dalek plan, because the Daleks, we are aware of them. Humans are aware of the Daleks, but they've considered gone or destroyed. And
Well,
it
they
turns out
say
that they're not. They're
the Daleks invaded Earth 1,000 years before the events of this story.
Yes.
And in the past 500 years, they've been noticing that they're starting to take over a bunch of planets.
no
and
one's seen them.
expand again.
Every year they send a delegate to a space station who sits in this waiting room waiting for the Daleks to show up, and the Daleks never show up until
That's Battlestar Galactica. That's a different sci-fi
God,
show.
you're
Yeah,
right.
no.
Yes, of course I knew I was making a Battlestar Galactica. A very good show.
That was good. That was a great show. Do you want to review that? It's been a while since people have watched it. Maybe no one's.
Yeah.
Okay, so so you got this
The
whole
one thing
with-
about, did we talk about Battlestar Galactica and how dumb Pyramid was? Like, anytime people try to invent sports in science fiction or fantasy things, they're never good. Do you remember Pyramid? It was one of the
Pyramid.
dumbest.
No.
Pyramid is like their foot in the Battlestar Galactica reboot. It's their foot. It's kind of like football, but it's like Quidditch. It's like one of those things which has like weird rules, but they try to make it out like everybody loves Pyramid. Did you
Right.
watch Battlestar
Right.
Galactica?
I did, but I don't
Pyramid
recall
is a
Pyramid
big
at
part of
all.
it later on. Yeah, it's fine. Let's keep going with
Sure.
You know what I'm talking about, people. Everybody listening to this podcast, and you know what I'm talking about. I'm not alone out here.
No, not at all. So we got all this. We got the guy Garvey, who we find out that
Yes.
he was pricked by a plant.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
is
but yes. But we were
alien,
talking
part
about
animal, part-
the plan, right? You were in the middle of explaining, and I started
was
talking
I?
about Battlestar Galactica. They're sending an envoy, but
What was the plan?
that the Daleks are
Oh.
reappearing in these other
Yes.
planets, and this guy puts 1 and 2 together and is like, this planet would be a good place to launch an invasion.
Of all the
Very
planets in the
smart guy. He
galaxy,
figures
this is
it
the
out.
only one. This is the best one because everyone knows that this is the most dangerous
Yes,
planet.
the
And
most
no one goes there.
dangerous
Anyone that goes
game.
there dies. Yeah, anyone that goes there gets hunted by Marlon Brando. So we got this planet. We got the guy also our hero, Mr. Corey.
Yeah.
Puts a couple of pieces together and realizes, hey, there's this plant here that has mind control abilities. It basically makes you turn into a murderer, but it only grows in Skaro, and it was like created by them on Skaro.
Yes,
so if it's here,
that's
then
right.
that means the Daleks must have been here. So
that element I thought was pretty interesting, that they had like some botanical
defense.
justification for like, oh, this thing only grows here and now it's here, so therefore they're here. At least it had a bit of thought, I think, going into
I thought it was
it.
interesting because the Daleks created this plant-like creature as a form of protection for themselves, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But it is impressive.
I don't think that ever has that come up again
Again, I've never heard
in
that.
all
This is
of
the first I've
the
ever seen.
endless Dalek stories that we've done.
Yeah. Nope. Terry Nation was on to something
Yeah,
there,
I
but he
don't,
kind
I
of
don't
abandoned
remember
it.
that, but maybe it was something.
But yeah, they can crawl around on their roots and surround their victims.
They can.
It was kind of fun. We got the second in
Yeah,
charge
with
there,
all of that
Lowry.
stuff too. Just stick with that. With
I'm with it.
the moving plants. That would have looked like it came from the '60s. Like looking at the
They
costume
looked great.
design and everything, like
Oh
they
my
were
God, they
not
looked great.
adding any modern techniques or trying to make it look at
No,
all
the only
like,
one-
out of the error.
The only one that I would want to see, like, what did they do in the original versus this one, is when Garvey gets shot. So Garvey's he's gonna go kill. He sneaks up behind Lowry, but CIA Corey sees him and kills the guy. But is he actually dead? Because they walk away and his hands start twitching, and we come back to him later, and he gets back up again and then transforms into a Varga, and that looked good. But it looked maybe a little too good. Like, it looked intentionally not great, the dissolve into it, but also, like, better than it probably would have been in 1960, whatever. So that's the one effect I'd love to see, like, a comparison of what it actually looked like when it was broadcast versus this recreation of it. Because it was the only real effect that they had. Everything else was all practical.
Is extremely practical.
The one, I mean, there was even, like, the Daleks... murdering everybody. They did the whole black and white inverting thing. They had the little coming out of their stalks.
All
there.
the classic stuff you love.
It was all baked into it. Yeah. Anyway,
And
so
it was in
that's
one episode. It was like a treat. I gotta say, I felt a little bit like I didn't know what to do with myself. I put the
It's extra
episode
time.
on. It's going. And then it was over, and I had a whole day to myself. I was like, oh my God, this must be like when people do deep dives into like the American Office or something. Jeez.
We just can get in and out. It's just like a 22-minute episode.
Yeah, I
There's
didn't know.
just
I didn't
that
know.
whole-
It was like I was complete freedom.
Basically, you're on vacation.
I just had a whole day to myself. And I just sat in
great.
the corner and cried because I didn't know what to do. So I just kept putting it back
perfect.
on. Going, why isn't this 6 parts? I'll have nothing to complain about.
I mean, there really isn't anything to complain about in this
No,
one.
it was
Even
good,
the
and
end
it was so
with those-
impressive. The cast too, like everybody was like clearly like happy to be part of it.
100% in it. I loved it.
But can we talk about the Council of Evil, because that is my
That's
favorite.
the only part I wanted to talk
scene.
about.
And I don't want to say anyone was bad at acting, but that was also like awful, but in the best possible way.
It really was
all of it,
terrible
like
in the
the
best
makeup and the stupid ridiculousness of the whole thing. It almost collapses on its own weight, but I loved it. That was my favorite part. I would like it.
The guy
reminded
that
me
had
of the Mr. Show. It has nothing to do with Mr. Show, but like
No.
that scene when it's the East-West Coast ventriloquist war, and they have that panel where they go down, and it's like kill or be killed, and like I forget all the people's names.
Rap artists, ventriloquists, blood has been shed, lives have been lost. Mr. Spencer, kill or be killed, Dingle, Professor Murder, Pickles, Mr. Barnett. What is it going to take to put an end to all this?
You mentioned before, one thing I
Yes.
liked about them, the costume designs were great.
Okay.
And seeing a still of them compared to what they were able to recreate, it looked amazing. There was the one, I think it was played
Hold
by
on,
a
you said
woman.
seeing a still of them, so you've seen stills of the real production, like the original production. I've not seen any of
video. Go watch the
Okay.
making of video. They do show on camera.
not gonna do that.
A still. No, don't
Yes.
do that. But a still of that scene particularly. It's set a little bit differently. There's background's a little bit different, but the overall gist is the same. And then the costuming, makeup design are spot on. Really, really good. And I think some of those costumes are really inventive. Some are not as much. There was one guy that was just kind of painted brown and he had worms hanging off of his face. You had the guy in the center who had the most lines, whose name was Malfa, by the way, in case you want to cosplay at the next Doctor Who convention. You can come show up as Malfa. With the kind of...
Do you think anyone like cosplays as that guy Corey, CIA Corey? And then
don't
people think it's
so,
just some guy returning a video cassette? Because that like big dumb tape recorder that he's speaking into does look
Yeah.
like he's just returning something at Hollywood Video.
Yeah, it looked like one of those large precursors to VHS, those giant tapes.
Super VHS.
But anyway, their costume designs were great. Was the acting terrific? No, but I wonder how much of that was coming from the audio recording. Again, like I said before, maybe that was the intent. But one of the things you don't get from an audio recording is how some of the other actors that weren't speaking at the time were moving. And they did a very, like, just moving arms up and down, side to side, like I'm kind of a robot. Like, there's some really interesting choices that felt like, yep, if I was watching the 1960 whatever it is 5 version of this, that's exactly what I would have seen. That's 100% accurate. But then one thing I don't quite understand is we have this plan. The Daleks are going to use they're going to form a super group with these 6 other creatures who represent these planets in the what did I write down in the 7 great powers of the outer galaxy.
Yes, they're on the outside, so they've been isolated
outer
from
galaxies. They're in the outer galaxies, but then everything they're talking about is the Daleks being in the solar system, and they're going to attack Earth. Like, it is just that thing that happens in Doctor Who, where the Earth and our solar system has to be the center of everything that ever happens. It just seems suspiciously funny.
Now, any of these races, like the guy that almost looks like he could be Pinhead.
Wormface, we call him.
Has that race been on
it
other
actually
things?
looks familiar.
It looks very
me.
familiar. Yeah, it also looks like that, the guy from Enemy Mine, where
maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
or a mix of that or Alien Nation, where they drink curdled milk.
Right.
It's like a combo of those two. But no, it did look like something maybe we saw in Doctor Who before.
Oh my God! So Eric sent me a still that will be on our show page of the Legion of Doom. The tall guy in the back he's just a guy in a helmet.
Yeah, it looks kind of inappropriate if you look at it too much. You're like, oh, okay.
This is not okay. What's about to happen here? Anyway,
it was fine. It was an enjoyable,
super
fun episode. I'm very
Impressive.
happy that it was recommended to us because I never even heard about it.
Nope, no idea,
and had no idea the story behind the recreation.
I love the recreation, the way that they did it. I like the story that the Daleks actually win and all of the humans die. That's a great twist that we don't really see ever. The fact there is no Doctor doesn't hurt the story. Honestly, it's just like, we're just going to deal with this.
No, but it does make it feel like a like a prequel, like a part of something else. Like I don't think it doesn't feel complete because there's no real resolution.
I feel like I read somewhere that this was potentially going to be almost like a backdoor pilot. Oh, it's like they were introducing this, and there could have been a whole thing with, and I could probably have this wrong, and I'm just talking on a podcast. Why would I do any research?
Just throw it out there.
I think there was something around Terry Nation wanting to do kind of a spin-off type thing, perhaps with this UN. What do they call it?
Right.
The UN Deep Space Force.
If they had liked it, they would have not killed him at the end, and that would have been.
Oh, or they just would have followed on with this Deep Space Force instead.
Check out our pilot. It's all about this character. Oh, we follow him? No, he's killed.
No, he's dead.
And then we have to introduce new characters.
Every time.
Next one.
It was great.
It's all fine.
Folks, it's good stuff. Yeah.
I don't know.
Thank you.
I think we're
for the
done.
Recommendations. I think we did it.
I think we did it early. This is one of our shorter episodes, but that just gives us time to say, YouTube? Are we doing this on YouTube next?
Unless we hear otherwise.
Next,
we should we do it on Twitter
3
Spaces?
weeks.
Twitter Spaces was the most fun and the easiest.
I hate Twitter.
But it was the most fun and the easiest.
And that probably doesn't work now. Does it work?
It may not work. You may have to subscribe and pay $1,000 a year to be able to do a space now.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd rather not do anything to do with that platform, personally. But I guess we'll have to. I was hoping we could tell them now, and then we've done YouTube.
All right.
We did YouTube before, and that was not bad.
We'll do it on YouTube.
Let's do it on YouTube.
Let's assume, unless our listeners don't give us the goods and tell us how we can easily watch any of these missing ones, then the next one's going to be it. We're going to do the second.
And
Peter
I know
Cushing
on
film.
YouTube there's the chat, and they can literally ask us whatever they want. I don't think we can necessarily.
Spaces was nice because they could actually
They could
talk at the
talk.
same time, which was very cool. I enjoyed that. But if we just do it through chat, that's okay too. We'll just have our assistant engineer Casey monitor the chat lines
Get
for
her
us.
on monitor that chat. So let's I guess look out. It'll be in 3 weeks.
Look out!
3 weeks from when you get this.
So
we'll
3 weeks
do
from
it,
that Wednesday,
and we're watching
gonna do
the movie,
Peter Cushing movie, which is called Enemy Mine.
Another Dalek Story, right? Is that what it's called?
I think it's called Yet Another Dalek Story.
So join it. Wait, did you send out like, hey, what did you guys think of this story?
Yeah, I just got a bunch of nice reaction emojis, but no real.
No one has
follow-up.
anything to say.
If you have anything you want to tell us about this, now that you know that it's on YouTube and you know that it's there, go watch it. And next time, tell us about it in the YouTube chat. That'll be awesome.
Okay. All right. I guess we got nothing.
We got nothing.
Well, actually,
wrapping
I'll just
this up
read,
on a high note.
This is from Misfit Scully, so this is where the idea came from.
Oh, cool.
Listening to the latest episode, excellent pod and review as always. Thank you.
Thank
the
you.
Animated episodes are well done. Please consider doing them. You might really like them. A reconstruction of the one episode Mission to the Unknown by UK college media students is really, really good. And also, Andrew Ireland says it's on the official BBC YouTube, Doctor Who YouTube channel.
Well, there you go.
So there you have it. I thought there's nothing more than that. It wasn't going to be like what do you got, Dan?
So Christopher Calloway, a listener, did write to us to say, hey, a couple more episodes, please. Oh,
wait, hold on a second. Wait a minute. Did I bury the lead? Yes.
What?
Andrew Ireland, who told us on the official YouTube channel, is the director of it.
Is it this? You said the name, and I was like, wait.
I know. I said the name, and my head's going, that sounds a little familiar. That sounds a bit. That's literally the guy who did it. So thank you, Andrew, for telling me it was on the official YouTube channel.
Look at us dummies.
So there you go.
Oh, Andrew, you did a great job. I hope you're listening. It was incredible.
Yeah.
As you heard.
If he's listening, and thank God we all said we liked it. Imagine you find out, and we're sitting here 5 minutes in, I'm trashing it. No, it was great. You did a great job. And yes, Andrew Ireland, there it is. It's on the official BBC Doctor Who channel.
Amazing.
Thank you. The old Doctor Who show talks to the stars. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, we've got some stars.
Katie Manning? Yeah, we've talked.
Via tweets.
Strangely aggressive with that, but yeah.
So thank you for pointing that out. That's pretty awesome. Our like I was saying, our friend.
Everybody
here,
listening's
Calloway,
like just hears me typing because my brain's like, "Hey man, Andrew Ireland." A stranger just jumps onto the thing that tells you where to watch it. That name sounds. Didn't Dan say that? And the wheels are turning in my head as I'm searching for it on Wikipedia, and sure enough, there he is.
So what were we saying?
I don't know.
We were reading
I'm
an
so
email
tired.
saying, "Hey, watch some more of these." And Mr. Calloway says, "I'm happy to hear you'll cover the 10th planet." I guess we're not because we can't.
Well, we
find
said
it.
we wanted to, and I still
three
do
out of 4
want
are
to.
missing. 3 out of 4 are there. One is missing, but we can't find
Somebody
it.
tell
so
us
that's
how
a
to
problem.
watch it. How do I watch the 10th planet?
Yeah, that's going to be a real problem. Lost in Time, a Doctor Who DVD box set, is worth watching for the incomplete Troughton stories. Unfortunately, I don't think they have streaming on BritBox. Maybe they're on YouTube. Can't find them. Moonbase, can't find it. Faceless ones, still can't find it. So these are very difficult. Again, if you
I will point this out too. While you're saying how difficult it is to add to it,
Yep.
I believe that children are the future. No, I believe the 10th planet is on BritBox in the UK.
Oh.
I think it's a regional thing and it's not in the US. Don't hold me to that, but when I was researching,
I am holding you.
I did find like there's like a Reddit thread and it's like, how do I watch this? And people were saying, oh, go on BritBox. And then some people are saying it's not on BritBox. And I think it's not in America on BritBox. So if you're in the UK and you see it on BritBox, we're not idiots. It's not available in the US. But maybe we can do like a VPN, like a a thing. So that's
Yep.
something to think about.
We'll see if we can sleuth that out. If that's the case, we will check it as well. Some VPNs don't really, they still know how to get around that and prevent you from watching stuff. So we'll see. Again, unless you hear otherwise from us, next one's the last one. Another email we got, I don't think we read this one. This is from February the 20th from JB, titled Planet of the Daleks.
Okay.
Dear Dan and Eric,
hi.
This review has been the review I've been looking forward to since I found your podcast 18 months ago. Celebration time's happening. This is my absolute favorite Doctor Who story, not necessarily due to the quality, but to the fact that it was my introduction to Doctor Who as a young child. It was the first Doctor Who story to be broadcast on British TV since the ending of the show. Why they chose a story that is essentially the second half of a 12-part epic, who knows? Because it has Dalek in the title, that's probably why. And was the first Doctor Who to air in my lifetime. I fell in love with it instantly and have been a huge fan ever since. The story is pretty half-assed by Terry Nation, rehashing some of his old ideas. Agreed. But the jungle and the base sets are amazing. There are cool ideas with the invisible Spiridons. The Daleks are menacing and cruel, and watching Joe Grant get sicker and sicker was terrifying for me as a child. I was terrified as an adult.
Yeah, I'm still scared.
I hope you guys enjoy it. Well, now you know how we felt about it. Sorry to see this podcast end. Holding on hope you'll do the 10th planet. Man, folks really want.
And while I even just sent Dan a screenshot while he was reading that very nice letter. It is 100% on the UK BritBox site. It's just not on the US
crazy.
BritBox site. So maybe
we'll see what we can do.
Maybe we can figure out a way around that.
Sorry to see the podcast end. Holding on to hope that you'll do the 10th planet if we're able to, or even Ice Warriors with only 2 of the 6 missing and animated. But I still am very happy with what we got. Hope you both are well. Jay, thank you so much for sending that to us. Well, again, we will see what we can do. We will let y'all know.
I bet you the BritBox version in the UK probably has all of the ones that people wanted us to do.
Well, we will find out. We'll do our homework now that we know that there's a possibility that it's available. Eric and I are going to plan to move to London.
Yeah,
for 2
if we have
weeks
to change your
to
mailing
watch
address.
Yeah, it's fine. It's worth it, I think. So we'll figure that
So
out.
Dan, how do people
Anyway.
send us stuff?
Do they?
I don't know.
They
We don't
send
have a
it to
P.O.
the-
box anymore.
The old
we can't get any
Doctor Who
free
Show at
stuff.
gmail.com. You send it
Dude,
there
this whole
and tell us where
podcast,
you're
I
going to
just
leave
want
it. You're
some
going
free
to
stuff.
give us something free. You're going to put it under a park bench. You're going to send us an email that says, at this time,
Yes.
go to this park bench.
Oh,
mark it with
I like
a
this.
piece of chalk.
It's
a dead drop is what they call it. It's a dead
an
drop.
ARG or something, right? And, where we have to go on a dangerous game where we get mail and there are weird chess moves in the mail, and then we have to solve a crime before someone's murdered.
Oh my God, we have to end
Yeah,
up at
get
a manor
something like that
house.
going. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
let's do that.
fine. It could be like a
What are you guys
Watcher
doing
scenario.
still listening to this? You should be creating a game for us
Yeah.
right now.
You should be creating a game for us in real time.
And sending us free
and
things.
sending us trinkets and buying any number of comics that I've written, such as Goblin, available now.
Or even buy some other comics that he hasn't written.
Right,
Who knows?
buy
Just
the ones
comics.
that I'm writing tomorrow.
Yeah, buy those.
Yeah.
I'm buying them already. I pre-ordered. Eric, I think we're done
We're
here.
done. We've worn out our
Donezo.
welcome, as they say.
We love all of you individually.
We love
and us
every
as a
one
group.
of you. Some more than others, and you know who
I
you
won't
are.
say it. You know who.
No, we love you all. In
Thank
all
you
seriousness.
for all of this. Victory, 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 victory is all I gotta say.
Victory!
Victory!
What if we did V? No, I don't want to do V.
No, we're not
but when
doing
I was
V.
a kid, I was like obsessed
Or the
with
reboot
V.
of V. Remember the reboot?
I don't remember the reboot. I just
15
remember
20 years ago.
being very attracted
nuts.
to Diana. That was her name.
Who wouldn't be? Yep.
But also very disturbed by her at the same time.
When her face came off?
If you watch it now, like where she like dislocates her jaw and eats that, were they eating constantly guinea pigs
Rats.
or something?
Rats,
Or
I think, right?
But I was afraid of that show. I remember that show freaked me out, and I was
Terrifying.
deathly afraid where they
Yeah.
peel their faces off.
You were
and
too
you get
young
the
for that show.
green stuff, and now you look at it, it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. I spit on it. What is
They
this
should be
trash?
ashamed of themselves.
No, I have not seen it. I remember
All right, I'm
Robert
gonna go watch
Englund's
it.
in it. I could throw out some other facts, but I was way into the miniseries. I was like all in, dialed in, real hard on V, and I watched that show until no one watched it.
Yep.
Right. Also,
Including the
watch
director's
Max
cut.
Headroom. Did you watch Max Headroom?
Yeah, absolutely.
It was a
watched Max
great
Headroom.
show.
It was
I
a
don't
show
think-
from what was it?
I don't think
5
anyone
Minutes in the
watched
Future?
it.
Yeah.
It was something like that.
Yeah. But they loved his
was good.
Pepsi Cola commercials. Okay, now we're talking nonsense. We will see you guys in a few weeks.
Yeah, because it was
regardless.
called Max Headroom because he was on a motorcycle and he like got in an accident and he hit the
Yep.
sign that said maximum
Said
headroom.
Headroom. Yeah.
It's a lot. It all connects to Doctor Who, right? Because then they interrupted Doctor Who with Max Headroom and they still haven't figured out who did it. So we went full circle.
Who was the actor who played Max Headroom?
Who was the actor? I don't know, but he was in the Max Headroom show as like a reporter,
Right.
right? Was he in
Yes.
Oz? I may be making that part up.
I feel like he feel like he was on a modern Doctor Who episode.
Oh, that's a totally
wanna
possible. That is
I'm trying
totally
to
possible.
find a thread, a connect.
He
Matt Frewer
is
is his
Matt
name. Matt
Frewer.
Frewer. Everyone knows Matt
Uh,
Frewer.
Jim
can we
Brewer's
find
brother.
Jim Frewer.
I'm Brewer. No, that was a worst joke. I should be hit in the face.
Nope.
Somebody should punch me right in the face.
Next time I see you.
He was in.
Oh no, he wasn't on Doctor Who. He was on How I Met Your Mother. That's what I was thinking. No, so Watchmen.
Just a
great.
couple guys going through IMDb.
This is the new podcast. We just go through IMDb. All right, we're leaving.
Maybe
Goodbye,
you
everybody.
think about it like Sid and Marty
I'm hanging up.
Croft.
I'm hanging up.
Don't be soft. It's Sid and Marty Croft. I don't know. That
What?
doesn't seem right. All right, Dan,
No, it's
that's
fine.
it. Let's go.
Bye.
Peace.
Where's my robot? You know?